Hey you guys, welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. Slowly but surely I'm getting better. So today we're going to make biscuits and gravy. I make it a little bit differently. If you guys have been around, you know we have some issues with dairy in our household. We do okay with cream, but not great with milk. And so we're just going to make my slightly adjusted biscuits and gravy. We're also making gluten-free drop biscuits today because we don't do wheat in this house. So I just thought I'd bring you guys along for my sort of unusual biscuits and gravy. In this bowl, I've got a stick of butter already melted. And in this container, I've got 2 cups of gluten-free all-purpose flour. So to this, we need to add a tablespoon of baking powder. I have a teaspoon measure out, so that's what we're using. And we need half a teaspoon of salt. I am just gonna incorporate those into the all-purpose flour. And then we are gonna mix this mixture in with our butter and 3/4 cup of milk. I have almond milk for this recipe. You can have regular milk, just use regular milk. And I'm sure if you don't like almond milk, but you need to be dairy-free, you could use whatever kind of dairy-free milk you want to use. So this could not be easier. I love drop biscuits. Don't get me wrong. I love a good flaky layered biscuit, but sometimes you really just don't want to have to mess with that. And the drop biscuits, they work so nicely. And especially in an instance like this where I am going to put gravy on top of them, it's fine to use a drop biscuit. It's really as simple as that. Got a nice dough all mixed up here. And I'm going to get this scooped onto a baking sheet and put in our oven. I did want to mention I've got the oven preheated to 425. I like to use a scoop for this. This is kind of like mashed potato scoop size. I don't know the exact measurements, but I also really love to use parchment paper because it just saves on the cleanup. We'll get these all scooped out here, get them into the oven. So these are ready to go in the oven. They're going to bake for probably about 15 minutes. While our biscuits are cooking, we're going to get our sausage cooking. This is just a pound of breakfast sausage. I have a medium breakfast sausage, but I would say use whatever you like. If you like medium or mild or hot, if you like a sage breakfast sausage, just it's your preference. I do need my meat chopper tool here so we can get this broken up and browning in our pot. So we're just going to break this all up into small pieces, let it cook all the way through, let it brown, put a little of that Maillard reaction on our sausage to add flavor, and then we'll add some other ingredients. So I'll meet you back here once our sausage is all cooked up. All right, you guys, our sausage is nice and cooked up. You can see these nice brown bits on here. Gonna give so much flavor to this. So time to add more ingredients. All right, so since our sausage is all cooked up, we are going to add about a tablespoon of butter and 1/3 cup of flour. I am using oat flour. I find it works really well for things like sauces and gravies. So we're just going to get our sausage all coated in that oat flour. Ooh, that's getting hot. Oh, where are you? There it is. If you guys don't have one of these things for your cast iron, I don't really know what it's called. It's kind of like an oven mitt, but it's silicone and it just slips over the handle. It's so nice. Mine is Lodge brand. You could probably find them on Amazon. I don't know for sure. We got ours at a Lodge factory store in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, which is where Lodge is made. At least the raw Lodge cast iron, not the enameled stuff, if I understand correctly. They have a factory store there at the town where the cast iron's made. And it's about an hour and a half from where I live. So we go in there sometimes when we are on our way other places and pass through. So our sausage is ready to add liquid. And this is where things get a little weird. I am not using milk. I am not using a milk alternative. I'm using a pint of chicken broth. And to my pint of chicken broth that we added, I'm going to add about a cup of cream. I know that's quite a bit of cream, but we're actually using up all the dairy in our house. So this is going to be delicious. It's going to taste fantastic. That broth is going to add some extra depth of flavor. And this is going to be nice and creamy, just like you would expect a normal sausage gravy to be. So we're just going to let this cook until it starts to thicken up. And then we'll give it a taste. My sausage was pretty flavorful, and so I didn't want to add any more salt or pepper or any kind of seasonings until I had all of my ingredients in here to see what kind of adjusting it needs. So we'll let this thicken up and then we'll give it a taste test. Our gravy is thickening up nicely here, so it's time to give it a little bit of a taste test and see what it needs. That's yummy. It's got plenty of salt and spices too, I think, for the most part. I just want it to be a little bit more peppery, so add some cracked pepper. And now this is just waiting on our biscuits to be done. So once we pull them out of the oven, we can have our biscuits and gravy. These look so good. Yummy. Let's dish up some biscuits and gravy, shall we? Before we put the biscuits in the bowl with their gravy, I wanted to show you what they look like. They're just so nice and airy and light. They're going to be fantastic in biscuits and gravy. Ooh, so hot. As things that have just come out of the oven typically are, right? Okay, I'm gonna use a ladle here. Get a little gravy on our biscuits. Give you a peek into this bowl. Let's give it a taste. Find a good spot. Get a little bit of biscuit and gravy. Oh, it smells amazing. This is really good. It's just like the greatest comfort food. I don't know. It's just delicious. Even if you can have the regular milk, I really love what the chicken broth does for the flavor of this gravy here. It just adds another little dimension, I guess, to the flavor. And it's so good. So yeah, maybe give it a try sometime. But thanks for hanging out with me today. I will link the recipes down below for both the gravy and for the biscuits. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.